Secular Perspective.
Brought to you by the Secular Party of America. With your host, Atheist Angel. Well, welcome, folks, to Secular Perspective. I'm your host. I am Atheist Angel. And may as well get right into it because this is a long show. Typically I only do like 30-minute shows, but this is an hour long. So I'm going to split it up into two shows, two 30-minute shows, and hopefully the first half will be interesting enough that you'll want to tune in to the second half, and well, we'll see. But anyways, to start this off, I wanted to talk about, I have online conversations with people, and I have for quite a while. I have my channel on YouTube, and I get into quite a few discussions with theists and others on there, typically related to, of course, religious topics, but wide ranges. You know, of course, when you're talking about religion, it tends to encompass many things, mathematics, philosophy, science, and other things, history, and many other things, come into play there. So at the moment, I am in a discussion with a gentleman because I'm, besides being just an atheist and a secularist, God, say that word, man. I haven't even had anything to drink yet. Maybe that's the problem. But being those things, humanist, though, I'm also an anti-theist and an activist. So I like to get in active discussions, especially with people that are actively and habitually, obviously, preaching and promoting willful ignorance. Now, gosh, man, I walk this fine line because obviously I'm all about human rights. People deserve to have these rights and to have certain basic respects granted to them as human beings and living in a country like the United States. And obviously we cannot control anyone's beliefs, at least not, realistically, without mind control or some sort of, manipulation thereof. But though we cannot control anyone's beliefs and everyone is free to believe what they want to believe, many times those beliefs inadvertently and through domino, the butterfly effect, whatever, affect me and others personally. Now, when their life consists of not grasping reality for what it is, believing in supernatural things or demons or angels or that their God speaks to them, or that these are things that just to me are not rational things that rational people should have to accept as being a reasonable part of reality. And yet, literally, billions of people on this planet share that mentality. Their lives are led in a completely different world than where yours or mine or people that accept reality for what it is, or because, even granted I've had my fair share of atheists that don't accept gods, or are not convinced that gods exist, whatever, that are also batshit crazy and other fucking things. They may be critical thinkers when it comes to gods, but when it comes to other areas, other things, it just foo-foo. Just foo-foo. You can't escape the foo-foo. And so it just goes to show you, reiterates the fact, Michael Shermer, that why people believe weird things and why even smart people can believe stupid shit. And I've seen it happen. It happens so much. And I'm sure probably even I believe stupid shit, but I don't profess my stupid shit as fact. See, there's a big difference. And a huge difference between belief, which is also personal truth, and what is true. Often, it's like, and that gets me back to what it is, what got me to right now wanting to record this, is because I'm presently in a discussion with a gentleman who claims to be a critical thinker and to utilize critical thinking skills, and yet he not only professes that he knows that a God exists, but that this God is the God of the Bible, is Yahweh. So my thought on the thing is, automatically, when someone claims for a fact something that can only be taken on faith, if you cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a God exists, and you can't, no one can, no one has, besides the fact that I believe a God by common definition is impossible, but we'll get to that here shortly. When you profess something that it has not been proven and cannot be proven as being fact, that automatically negates any sort of your appeal to critical thinking skills, truth, facts, whatever. That's just gone. And when you take that a step further and say, not only do I know a God exists, but I know that it's the God of the Bible, that just takes a big, healthy, intellectually dishonest dump on critical thinking skills. Straight up. Because even if a being came to you, appeared right in front of you and said, I am the God of the Bible, and you took him verbatim, you didn't ask him for ID, you didn't make him prove it to you in any way, and even if it like boof, made like a little world in its hand, how could you prove to yourself or to anyone else that this is the God of the Bible? Or even a God? Could not any sufficiently powerful being come to this planet, and if it could come to this planet and it was sufficiently powerful enough, could it not say or do anything that it wanted to do and claim to be whatever it is that it wanted to claim to be? And how would we test that? How would we prove it? How could we prove that, even if we believed it, that it wasn't this being that was causing us to accept that it is who it says it is? How could it prove that it's the God of the Bible, even if it said, quoted word for word, words from the Bible, or events, quote unquote, events from the past and stuff? How would that in itself prove that it was who it said it was? There's absolutely no way that it could prove it, even if it had ID, a birth certificate, driver's license. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how. There's no way it could prove it, sufficiently prove it. So, how can you possibly not only claim that a God exists, but that it's your chosen God, and then make an appeal to critical thinking skills, that you came about this conclusion by utilizing critical thinking skills? That's horse shit. I'm sorry, but straight up, that's horse shit. So this guy seems like a nice guy, seems like a fairly intelligent guy. He says that he's from ran into the microphone. He says he's from Thailand or something like that. He's not from the United States, but that his version and the people's version of Christianity over there is much different than the beliefs of people here in the United States. Which, granted, it may be, which just does not add to the credibility of the religion when you've got some estimates, I've heard many different, from over 1,000 different denominations to upwards of 40,000 denominations within just Christianity alone. So, first off, why are there so many denominations? When you have billions, 1.5, or is it 2. I think it's 1.5. My gosh, I need to smoke more weed. But however many billion Christians there are on the planet right now, about 2 billion, I think it is. When you've got that many people, and there are over 1,000, let's just say 1,000. We'll take the low number there. Over 1,000 denominations. And out of 2 billion people, each with their own varying interpretations thereof. And they can't even agree on the core doctrine of what is in their Bible, except that this God exists. Christians, there are some Christians that don't even accept that Jesus is the Son of God, that he's Christ. Okay? So when you have that, how can you make an appeal to critical thinking skills? How you just can't. You can't. So, and no matter how watered down any society or culture or denomination thereof may be from this religion, when the core tenets of the religion are flawed, when you can't prove that a God exists or make any sort of appeal to that, when you can't, it doesn't matter how much you water it down, how many cherries you put on a pile of shit, it's still a pile of shit. When you come right at the end of the day, it's still a pile of shit. So that's where I am with this guy right now. So here, through the magic of internet, we are going to continue, and let me see if he has responded from here on in, and I will go over some of the maybe check some of the other conversations that I've had here on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube at Atheist Angel on YouTube. I'm also on Facebook at Atheist Angel. So you can find me. There's a couple others. Didn't even know there was another Atheist Angel. Some gal, some girl out there is also Atheist Angel. But I've got the active channel, and so I'm going to take it. I'm just going to keep going with it. Just in my chair here. All right, let me see. Let's go back up to this conversation here. I will. He says essentially that that was the last thing. It was the here. This may blast here. I'll turn it down. The video is called "What Makes Christianity Different from Other Religions." Illuminate episode 3, and of course, that's on YouTube. What makes Christianity different from other religions? Illuminate episode 3. If you type that in, I'm sure you can join in the conversation as well. I'm on there, of course, having several discussions. One in particular with a gentleman by the name of John Mang, who that's what the conversation that I've been discussing right here. So anyways, so he comes on, and his first comment is, "Welp, the comment section sure was interesting. God bless y'all." Y'all, which, dads, man, for the longest time I hated that term. It just reminded me of just, of course, Southern, and just, I don't know, I'm not going to say I'm not a big fan of the South because I don't want to alienate anyone, but just the Bible Belt in the South, just, I think what the issues are with the South and the Bible Belt in general. So it just left a bad taste in my my mouth. In my South. Left a bad taste in my South. When I would hear y'all. But now, I guess on occasion I even use it myself. So anyways, our evolution, mental evolution. So he says the comment section was sure interesting. God bless y'all. And then people, of course, leaving their comments. Agreed. Amen, bruh. I've been on it for 2 hours now, and I can't stop reading all the comments. These are like 3 months ago. His first comment was 4 months ago, which was edited. Let's see what the edited version was. Let's see if it'll play. Huh. Well, I don't know. It just says the same thing. Well, the comment section sure was interesting. God bless y'all. Has 132 thumbs up with about 47 replies. Oh, the gold is in the replies, my friend, for both sides. Yup. I thought the same thing, my guy. I instantly said, well, may God have mercy on most of these people. And then I said, and may critical thinking skills bless you. Which I love to do, because when people say God bless you, it's typically done in a condescending manner. No matter how sincere. Well, no, I'm not going to say no matter how sincere, because when Grandma says it, God bless you, she's not doing it with any sort of underlying tongue-in-cheek, gotcha, stick you sort of thing. So, okay, I take that back. But most of the time, when Christians say that in discussion, it's typically at the end. That's their capper on there to stick you, give that little Zeitin jab. It's God bless. Well, God loves you. Jesus loves you. That sort of sentiment there. It's always that little Christian jab they love to throw in there at the end. And so I like to come back with, because they think they're giving you a little jab, I give them a little jab back. So they say, may God bless you, or may Jesus love you, or whatever. God bless you. May critical thinking skills bless you. Bless you. May critical thinking skills bless you. So I'm going to have to cut that part out and do it again. So luckily for post-production, let's do that again. So when people reply with God bless you in that typical, or even if I think it's close to that, I like to respond with, and may critical thinking skills bless you, because I'm sort of testing the waters there as well. Because I'm not sure just by his initial comment whether he is, what his beliefs are. God bless y'all. I mean, that could be sarcasm for all I know. So in a sense, I'm kind of trolling, right? I'm trolling. I'm throwing that out there to kind of test the waters and see what his response is, and if anybody else does. So then he responds with, of course, there's another comment, sure, it was interesting. And then he comes back with, and this is a day ago, because, oh my gosh, I responded 2 months ago, and may critical thinking skills bless you. And then I guess he finally noticed after 2 months, which is great. And a lot of people say, oh, geez, man, here you are responding after 6 months. Or, look how long it took you to write that. Who cares how long it takes for anybody to respond? Not everybody sees comments right at the moment when you leave them, or in any particular time thereof. It's not like I read the comment and sat for 6 months thinking about a reply. It's like, when I get in these threads, you see something and you reply. So there you go. Who cares how long it fucking takes? What matters is the content and the context of what is being discussed. So he responds with, a human is never complete without it, my friend. And I respond with, without what? And then he responds with critical thinking. So he's saying, so automatically, I'm like, okay then, let's test this a little more. If he's throwing out critical thinking, is he, and now it goes back to the whole thing, is he an atheist that's trolling, throwing out, a little sarcastic God bless? Or is he a theist, a Christian that is throwing out stuff about critical thinking, and yet he believes, or not believes, but is convinced a God exists? And not only that a God exists, but it's the God of the Bible. So automatic, that raises a red flag for me, because the two are in direct conflict with each other. So I say, so you're an atheist? And he says, no, I just think that God did not make our brains to be this intelligent and expect to not use it. Few problems with that right there, because if that's true, one would think that would be true. If a God did create us and was like a parent, and not just like some controlling fucking dictator bullshit, do things, making robots things anyways. So let's just say God exists for the sake of argument. God exists. It's the God of the Bible. And it created humans. And it's wise. It's logical. So it would be like a parent, create beings like children, parents having children, and then allow them to be who they are and grow up to be whatever it is that, whatever it is and stuff. But that's not the case with the God of the Bible, is it? Because the whole issue comes into, I gave you free will, but then there's only two options that are given to you. Either accept that I exist and that I sacrificed my son for sins that I created in you, or suffer for eternity. Now, whatever that encompasses, there's different interpretations about what that means. For some, it means burning in hell, suffering for all every day, every second for eternity. You are burning, suffering. And for others, they say merely the separation from God is what hell is. Now, there's the issues with that in itself. How can you feel any pain if you've got no pain receptors to feel this, no physical body to feel it? Oh, it's a mental thing. Well, your brain isn't, your thoughts aren't what are feeling the pain, so that makes no fucking sense in itself. And so, but being separated from God, to me, is not hell, because I wouldn't want to fucking have anything to do with that fucker if it did actually exist. If it gave me the option, okay, you get to hang out with me for eternity in my own little private country club here, or you get to float around, do whatever the fuck you want to do away from me. I'm going to pick option B. There, okay, thanks, I appreciate it, thanks, but I'm going to travel and cruise the universe, and you guys, go ahead, have your fun over there, make your cupcakes or whatever you got to do and stuff. I'm good. But that's not the case with that's the case with the God of the Bible. It doesn't, he doesn't give you a brain and then expect you to use it. He expects you to do with it what he wants you to do, and if you don't, then you're fucked, essentially, in some way. And to me, that's God, man. When you have children, you don't say, okay, look, you either love me or get the fuck out, or you either love me or I'm going to cause you to suffer forever and ever and ever. And this boils down to the whole discussion of even if we considered that not believing in God is some sort of crime, which in itself is bullshit. But even if we also accept that, okay, let's accept that God exists. Let's accept that it's the God of the Bible. Let's accept that it has put down these rules and has given us, these brains and everything, created us. And there's only two options. How can that in any way, shape, or form be a brain that he's given you that he expects you to use? And then when you do use it, he punishes you for it. There can't be an expectation of one thing with the threat of punishment for the thing if you don't do what it is that they expect you to do. To me, that's just bullshit. And if that is the mentality of the thing that created this entire fucking universe, then just like how smart people can do stupid shit and believe stupid shit, that's God. That's this being. And what a waste of fucking power, huh? What a fucking waste. First off, a God fucking... What does a God need? Goes back to the whole Star Trek fucking thing, the paradox. What does God need with a starship? A God wouldn't need any goddamn thing. Anything that it wants, desires, whatever, poof, it's there in an instant. Why in the fucking world would it sit around for however long that it did? Who knows what the fuck it was doing? All of a sudden, this fucking idea, ping, pops into his brain or whatever and stuff like that, which that's bullshit too, because if it knows everything, then all this was already pre-planned and it couldn't have changed it anyways. Which that's a bunch of horseshit too. So either God sat around for however long doing whatever the fuck it was doing and then decided to create this. And then create us and then in all its glory, in all its power, in all its majesty, it is now going to concern itself with nothing else in the universe. Just let that shit go, like, winding up a fucking clock, or, the set it and forget it fucking cooking grill shit. Let everything else in the universe do its fucking thing that it's set in motion, but it's going to concern itself now with this little teeny tiny fucking dot of an insignificant fucking planet in the middle of fucking an insignificant galaxy at some corner of the fucking universe. Really? Fucking really? I mean, you can't even put that into perspective. Like, with us being concerned. It's to even sort of try to put that into perspective is you being concerned with a speck of dust in the fucking corner behind your fucking toilet. And not just the speck of dust that's in the corner behind your fucking toilet, but with the little tiny fucking shit that's living in that speck of dust in the corner behind your toilet. You don't care about any fucking thing else in your goddamn house. You're going to care about the shit living on that little speck of dust in the corner behind your fucking toilet. Nothing else in this world, nothing else in the universe. Just the things living on that little speck of dust. Really. And you want the little things living on that little speck of fucking dust back behind the toilet to worship you. And if they don't, then you're going to cause them to suffer fucking for all eternity. In any way, shape, or form. You're going to cause them to suffer somehow. You're going to punish them somehow. Woo fucking who. Oh yeah, you are grand, alright. You are, wow. Yeah, I got to bow down to that kind of shit. Oh yeah, that is some, yep. So, sorry if I tell you when you start trying to make an appeal to fucking critical thinking skills by claiming that not only does a God exist, but that it's the God of the Bible. I'm going to tell you you're full of fucking shit. I'm going to call your bullshit for what it is, and I don't care what flavor of fucking Christianity you want to do. I don't care how many fucking cherries you want to put on your pile of bullshit. It's still a fucking pile of bullshit. And I'm going to call you out on it. I'm going to tell you it's bullshit. And I don't care how much you believe, you're convinced that this God exists and that you're using critical thinking skills to come to that conclusion. I'm still going to say, man, you're full of shit and you're worshiping a narcissistic, bloodthirsty, mass-murdering fucking pile of shit that you expect me to worship too, or I'm going to suffer for eternity in some way, shape, or form. And you know what? I don't have to fucking put up with that shit, neither do you. These are people that fucking believe this shit. They're out of fucking touch with the reality. Their mentality that we've ignored for far too fucking long, that has dominated this planet and this nation, and that results in things like people not accepting vaccines, not accepting evolution, not accepting the Big Bang Theory, not accepting that fucking this goddamn fucking virus was real and deadly and more powerful than any fucking of your goddamn gods. Mother Nature just showed you your gods are little pieces of shit. If this does not wake every goddamn theist on this planet up, then you are beyond help. You are beyond tolerance. We do not have to put up with this shit anymore. Your beliefs, your convictions are the reason why so many people have died, the reason why this planet is in shit, the reason why we cannot move forward. And it's historically proven, it is demonstrably, it is a fact that historically religion, the propagation thereof of bullshit, has held us back and caused more goddamn conflicts between fellow man, than any other factor that exists. And you can make your arguments, oh, it's monetary, it's economic, it's power hungry, blah, blah, blah. Stalin was an atheist because he didn't believe in God. Fuck all that shit. Fuck it.